guys, welcome back to the Daily Dreamer. Okay, I'm just going to get started on this one because there was a lot going on in this dream. And I woke up and I told my husband only half the dream because the other half specifically had to do with him. So this one, it goes out to you, hon. So I wake up, I come to, and I am over the hill of where my neighborhood is. There are 10 to 12 Hollywood stars, if you will. One of them being Samuel L. Jackson, the other one Ralph Macchio. I can go on, but the important thing is that they were in the neighborhood to cause what was imprinted, ruckus, right? I originally thought ruckus as in something bad, something negative, and so I was a bit concerned. And so I watched them just for a moment as they wandered the neighborhood. I wanted to see what they were up to no good, I don't know, but I wanted to watch them. Nonetheless, after a few minutes or so, I was kind of concerned about my house up the hill. So I conveyed, "What are you guys doing here?" They turned around, they looked at me, and they said, "You." And that's always great. So the next thing I know, I'm in a car. And I'm in a car, and I'm going to another city that looks exactly like the one I just left. So we're there to get a child. We get the child gets in the car. There's like 10 to 12 of us. I don't even know how that happened, but we fit into this. It was a convertible car. So I don't know how we all fit in, but we did. The next thing I know, now we arrive in another city, and there enters my husband, who's already actually in a doorway. And I was like, cool, right? So we get out, and the child goes to him, and he takes him inside. And the next thing I know, I am there with the other people, Hollywood stars, and we are causing a ruckus, not getting in trouble. We were just doing our thing, having a good time, discussing, talking, just being in the now, if you will. Well, I wanted to know what was going on with my husband. So I walked into the building, and there he is, just studiously sitting there learning and playing and manipulating and doing all kinds of things. And I conveyed to the child, what is he doing? And he says he's learning to become a sorcerer. And I said, well, he already is. And the child conveyed to me, I know. So what's he doing? Learn to become a sorcerer. But he already is. He says, I know. And then what happens after that? I don't know. I woke up. It was kind of cool. So what does the dream mean? Well, let's go find out. All right. So the magician and the sorcerer, they're like apprenticeships, right? What is a magician? A magician is someone who takes items or elements and they transmute them. They change them. They mix, they infuse, they mingle items from one thing to another. That's what they do. And we are all magicians. We can all do that. For example, if you're like my husband and you love to do that stuff, maybe you sit there for a whole day and you make incense. You gather all the ingredients, you mix, you grind, you do what you do, add some water, do this, put them in molds, let them dry overnight. You come down and you've taken all these ingredients and you've transmuted it into something completely different in the very end. That is a magician. We all have that power. What about a sorcerer? What does a sorcerer do? A sorcerer comes along, he uses that energy, and he employs it into an energy field that is not so easily understood through ordinary perceptions. In the ordinary world as we know it, such as when you light the incense, it changes it into a smell for all of us, okay? Sorcery is a state of awareness, the ability to perceive something in which an ordinary perception cannot. Sorcerers, they love to have apprentices, okay? And what do they do with apprentices? They love to put them through things. They love to teach them lessons. And those lessons are there to show the magician, his apprentice, that there is always going to be more that meets the eye. The thing is, though, is that we don't really need anyone to teach us that sorcery. We don't need anyone to teach us sorcery. There's nothing to that. What we need is someone to show us that we all have the ability right there at our fingertips. We all have that ability. And the magician says, well, if all I had to do was light it to make the smell, I would have done so in the very beginning, after it was dry. I would not have waited on you. I could have easily done it. And the sorcerer says, exactly. But heck, you didn't even know you were a magician until you started mixing. And then I told you that. And then guess what? Now you know you have the ability of being a sorcerer at your fingertips. And it was locked within you the whole time. So once you realize that, then now you can reach that goal. You could be a sorcerer anytime you want, because now you're going to carry fire and light around, right? So you can go ahead and light everything. That's the sorcery. You know, you're using those energy fields that normal people don't quite understand, you know. Turn around, look away. You don't even have to look away. I'll go ahead and be a sorcerer. Let me go ahead and light it, right? It's that turning that energy into something that maybe we can't quite describe, but we can understand it. That smell, if you will. And then we take that ability as a sorcerer, and now we're able to actually bridge the gap, bring it into a world that normal perceptions cannot understand. In other words, say, for instance, energy and energy healing. That's a sorcerer. They're using that energy for healing, vibrations, sound therapy. You know, that is a sorcerer. They are transmuting. They are making it bridging it from the ethereal realm into the physical realm so that most of us can understand it. Say, for instance, dreams. That's a good way to bridge the gap between sorcerers and magicians. We all have the ability to dream, but the sorcerer takes those dreams and they root out what doesn't need to be. They understand the symbols, they understand the signs, they understand the colors, the vibrations, the stories, the codes, you know. They take that and they bring it back into the world of normal perception so that normal people can understand it. So yeah, I guess we all have the ability to become sorcerers. This perception now is no longer known as imagination, because that is what they call it when they don't understand it. It's your overactive imagination. You love to tell stories. Oh, look at them carry on. It's now no longer known as your imagination, folks. It's a very real and concrete world that we begin to know and understand without having to use words. Okay, that link, that gap between those realms, those hidden realms that we don't quite understand, and the physical realm. The dream realm is a perfect gap, a perfect bridge, if you will. And you never need any words. Imagine that. It's a silent knowledge. It's an awareness, if you will. Do you want to know the secret to understanding sorcery? Absolutely everything in the entire cosmos is attached to intent. That intent has a connecting link. A connecting link that all sorcerers are concerned with discussing, understanding, and employing for those who cannot even fathom it. They are especially concerned with cleaning that connection to the link of the intent so that they can bring that incomprehensible knowledge back to an understanding measure of some sorts of standards of awareness of an everyday life so that people can understand that intention and that link. Sorcerers are always concerned with the cleansing of that link, themselves, yourself, your thoughts. If we understood how connected we actually and truly were and are in the realm of magicians and sorcerers, then each of us would surely cleanse ourselves to the point where we are wanting to deepen that intent and that connections via dreams, via magic, to understand that our own sorcery is able to manifest our thoughts and our wishes almost on an instantaneous basis once we understood it. Folks, if you can make those thoughts happen almost instantly, why on earth are you trying to tune in and clean up your connection, your intent? It's important, folks. I don't know, guys. I don't know if you want to be a magician or sorcerer, but I'm well on my way to making that happen. So, guys, until next dream, until next thought, many blessings to you, and thanks so much for coming and joining me for a daily dream.